The real story of Santa. The real story of Santa Claus begins not with a jolly man at the North Pole, but with a Christian bishop in the eastern Mediterranean, Nicholas of Myra, born around 270 A.D. in the city of Patara, in the Roman province of Lycia, in what is now southern Türkiye, to a well-off Christian family who raised him to combine faith with compassion. When an epidemic took both of its parents, the young Nicholas inherited their wealth and, instead of living comfortably, began giving much of it away in secret to people in need, seeing anonymous generosity as a way to imitate Christ rather than draw attention to himself. The most famous legend about him tells of a poor father with 3 daughters who had no money for dowries and feared they might be sold into servitude. Hearing of their despair, Nicholas is said to have gone to their house at night and thrown a bag of gold into the home on 3 separate occasions so that each daughter could marry with dignity. Later, storytellers added the charming detail that the gold landed in stockings or shoes left to dry near the fire, and although that part is not historical, it helped create the later tradition of children hanging stockings in hope of a secret gift. Other early stories portray Nicholas as a protector of those in danger. He supposedly prayed during a violent storm at sea, and the winds calmed, so sailors began to honor him as their patron. He was also remembered for saving wrongly accused men from execution by boldly confronting corrupt officials, which made him a symbol of justice and courage as well as kindness. At some point, he became bishop of the city of Myra, and later, Christian writers say that he was imprisoned during the persecution of Christians under the Emperor Diocletian, and released when the Emperor Constantine legalized Christianity. Another later tradition claims that he attended the Council of Nicaea in 325, though historians are not completely certain of this detail. Nicholas died on the 6th of December, probably in the year 343, and his tomb in Myra soon became a place of pilgrimage, where people told new stories of his help and asked for his intercession. Over the centuries, his reputation spread across the Greek-speaking world and then into Western Europe, and he became one of the most popular saints of the Middle Ages, especially cherished by sailors, merchants, children, and the poor. In many regions, people marked his feast day, the 6th of December, by giving small presents or sweets to children, trying to imitate his habit of secret charity. In the 11th century, Italian sailors carried his relics from Myra to the city of Bari in southern Italy, where a great shrine to St. Nicholas still stands today, reinforcing his importance in Western Christianity. After the Protestant Reformation, devotion to saints declined in many northern European countries, yet Nicholas survived especially strongly in the Low Countries. In what is now the Netherlands and Belgium, he evolved into Sinterklaas, a tall, dignified bishop in red robes who arrived by boat from Spain, rode a white horse over rooftops, and visited children in early December, rewarding the good and sometimes symbolically warning the disobedient. Dutch settlers carried these Sinterklaas customs to New Amsterdam, the city that later became New York, and over time his name softened in English speech into Santa Claus. In the young United States, writers and poets began reshaping the old saint into a more playful, family-friendly figure. Washington Irving wrote humorous sketches about St. Nicholas as the patron of New York, and in 1823, the anonymous poem A Visit from St. Nicholas better known as "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," introduced several features that are now essential to the myth. Santa traveling in a sleigh pulled by 8 reindeer, landing on rooftops, slipping down chimneys, filling stockings, and leaving quietly before dawn. During the later 19th century, the American illustrator Thomas Nast drew Santa Claus repeatedly for a popular magazine, and his drawings gradually standardized Santa's appearance as a round-bellied, bearded man in a fur-trimmed suit who lived at the North Pole, kept a list of children categorized as naughty or nice, and oversaw a workshop where toys were made. By the early 20th century, this image had spread widely in the English-speaking world, and Christmas advertising helped fix it even more firmly. Coca-Cola's famous holiday campaigns in the 1930s did not invent Santa, but their warm, red-suited version helped make one particular look of Santa Claus familiar across the globe. In many countries, elements of older local gift-bringing figures blended with this American Santa, so that today he appears in shopping centers, films, and storybooks from Brazil to Japan. Yet, beneath the layers of poetry, illustration, and commercial imagery, the core of the character still points back to the historical Nicholas of Myra, a bishop known for quiet generosity, care for children and the poor, and courageous defense of the vulnerable. The modern Santa Claus is therefore not a single invention, but a long, evolving fusion of early Christian memory, medieval customs, Dutch folk tradition, American literature, and global popular culture, built around a simple idea that goes back more than 1,700 years, that giving secretly and generously to those in need can create joy, wonder, and hope in the darkest part of the year.